All right, welcome back for another episode of This Disc is Great with Steve and Nate. Sans Steve, so just me. Are we good to go?
Okay. So good, yeah, sorry.
All right.
Took a delay.
Perfect. All righty, so this is episode 57. This week we have the Westside Anvil. We'll get to that in a minute. We're going to give a couple more people a chance to jump on. Before we get to disc, remember real quick, we have this week's sale is 20% off of the entire 4th of July section, including what's left of our America custom stamp DD stuff. I've got Ballista Pros, I've got a few Burst Harps left, and I've got Lucid Mavericks. With this sweet American flag stamps, Statue of Liberty, check those out, 20% off. And then these guys go on sale tomorrow for 50% off. These full sub tuxedo American flag shirts. We've got short sleeves and we've got long sleeves. Again, they'll be on sale for 50% off. I'm going to give one of these away in the size of your choice, long sleeve or short sleeve, to whoever can convince Reeser, who's on the comments, who is the most patriotic. So convince Reeser that you're the most patriotic person watching this video and you win a full sub American flag tuxedo shirt. We also give away all the stuff that we threw for the video, so these two anvils will get given away. The purple one, the special edition one, will go to whoever guesses closest to the farthest backhand throw. So you got to guess Steve or Nate, and then how far it went. Spoiler, we're not breaking any distance records with this guy. So guess what distance you think we threw it, and then another question, comment, something that makes us laugh, or just a really good, insightful question will win the other anvils. Check that out. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump into it. Again, this is episode 57 of This Disc is Great with Steve and Nate. We are doing the Westside Anvil. So we take brand new discs out to a field, throw them a bunch of times so we can show you guys how they fly, give you a little bit of insight. And so here's what Westside Disc says about the Anvil. When the wind is up and you need an overstable approach disc, look no further than the Anvil. The Anvil has good speed for mid-range with even more overstability than the Bard. If turning isn't an option, reach for the Anvil. So numbers on the Anvil is a speed of 4, a glide of 2, which is really low, 0 turn, and 4 fade. So that's really overstable. As you can kind of see from the hand modeling that Reeser's doing for you there, it looks and feels a lot like a Justice without a bead. That's really what it feels like in the hand. It's really comfortable. I like that about it a lot, that it doesn't have that bead. It just feels better in the hand than the Justice, and I've bagged a Justice for like 4 years. So this is supposed to be, that's probably the closest comparison disc that we have. When those pop back up, we'll talk about it a little bit more again. But the Justice is probably the closest comparison to this. Just this is beadless. The Rat has close to the same numbers, but if you go back and watch our review of the Rat, we think it's a lot straighter than that 03, probably closer to an 02 at best. The Mortar is probably somewhat close, if not quite as overstable at 5303. Those numbers are pretty true, and supposedly it'll be pretty close to this. And then a Zone, which I think is still just a touch slower than that. I think it's probably closer to 3303. So those are kind of similar comparisons. We'll see if they fly anything like that. You guys have heard us say a lot about Westside. They just tend to come out less overstable than they think. So we'll see if this is true to numbers or not. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into some throws here. Whenever you are ready, Mr. Reeser. All right, so as always, we like to start off on a nice big spike hyzer and no flip up. So that 0 turn is there. It's not flipping up out of that line. It's holding that hyzer and just crashing left right away. 211, which is not very far if you've seen me and Steve throw before. But that's kind of that approach, that distance that you're looking at. You're not looking to crush this super far, but on a hyzer that's holding it, crashing out the whole way. Again, no flip whatsoever, and I've got a left to right crosswind, so if it was going to flip, it's the wind that would flip it. Let's see what we can do if we get it a little flatter. So Steve grip locked that a little bit, and that's with this purple special edition one, which does have a touch more glide than the other one does. But again, that's just touch hyzer, and that is not flipping up at all. Any left movement on that is because he grip locked it a little bit, and it's crashing hard Again, 267, not really far for our normal throws, but this disc isn't made to go far. It's made to go to a spot really predictably. All right, let's see here. I think this one's a little flatter. So that's flat to just a little bit of ante, and still no turn out of it. It went straight for just a little ways, and then is crashing out really, really reliably. A little bit of skip there at the end. Not as much skip as I would expect out of like a Justice, but again, that grass is pretty tall, so kind of hard to tell. But 274 is getting close to all that we're going to get out of this guy.
Okay, next one.
So this is on a pretty steep Anheuser line, so I'm forcing that over. I'm getting a little bit of drift out of it, but you can tell. Let's run that back straight from the start.
This one?
Yeah. So out of my hand, it's almost flat right there. So even though it came out of my hand, Annie, it's fighting to flat and back over really quickly and hyzering out really reliably, really significantly. So again, I had a left to right crosswind, so this was kind of wanting to push it in the direction I put the Anheuser on, and this still crashed out of it. So this is every bit as overstable as they say it is. Really reliable. 290 is ripping on this. Like, I'm putting everything I can to get this to go 290. And then let's see, this is the angle, this next shot. That's where I'm throwing most of my rollers with, on that angle. So if I'm throwing a Maverick roller, that's where I'm putting it. And this is still fighting out and ending up left of where it started. So on that Anheuser angle, it's holding that barely at all, already flexing out halfway through the flight, and still hyzering out farther left than I started off. So really overstable, and that's a full power just mash on that thing to get it to go 305. And again, that was with the purple one, which is just a little, the special edition plastic tends to be glidier in general. So it went a little farther than the orange one. But I'm going to really like this disc for sidearm approaches. So hammered on that, just nice and flat, goes straight for a while, and then is reliably fading out. That really reliable overstability that you want. I use this in a lot of places like at Hummel, or our really wooded course, where I can be sure that I'm going to fade out or go around the corner. Shaping shots in the woods is where this is going to really come in handy, where you need to get around an obstacle in the fairway, but then still crash out and get right. Super reliable approach disc for sidearms. That's on a little bit more of an Anheuser angle, and it held straight for just a little bit longer, but still not going to turn over. Even though sidearms have more torque, we still came nowhere close to burning this out. Always going to come back. Again, probably not your most beginner-friendly disc for sidearm or backhand, but it does what it does, and it does it really well. And there's Steve putting a lot of Anheuser on it. And it held that drift for just a little bit, but even that is coming out to a straight finish at the end with a ton of Anheuser on it with a little bit of a wrist roll. So if that's not turning over, you're not going to turn this disc over. It's just not possible, which is what you want on an overstable approach disc. There's not a lot of discs like this out there on the market. Like the Zone and the Mortar are kind of close, but even those aren't quite this overstable. The Justice, for a long time, has been the only. I've heard things about the Stego and the Moab, but I've never actually thrown those. So for me, the Justice is the only thing like it out there. A lot of people who are like all Discmania or all MVP or all Prodigy or whatever still throw a Justice because they just can't find things quite like it. I'm hoping the Deflector that we're going to do here in a couple weeks, whenever we get a chance to film it, will also be close. But this is the first thing I've thrown that's got a chance of kicking a Justice out of the bag for me. Flies almost exactly like a Justice does, maybe just a touch more glide, but it also is just more comfortable in the hand. It doesn't have that big old bead that a Justice does. Feels nice and comfortable, comes out nice and clean.
Is it, the numbers say it is not as fast as a Justice, but it feels like it could be. What is it as fast as a Justice?
I mean, between 4 and 5, that's, no, again, all numbers are arbitrary. They're kind of things that people just put on it. So it's close. Like, I'd say it's definitely faster than the Zone, which Discraft calls a Zone of 4. I'd say it's definitely faster than that. I honestly wouldn't it's right on par speed-wise with the Justice. They're really close. Maybe they're both 4.5s, and this one just got rounded down, and the Justice got rounded up, something like that. I'd say they're really close. I mean, they're close enough that there's no difference in them that you would bag both. I don't see why you would. They fill the exact same slot. All right, so that's kind of our thoughts on it. I mean, it is what it is. It's that 4204, really beefy, really overstable. It's going to be mostly for utility shots. You're not driving with this or getting max distance out of it. It's going to be for really reliable hyzers, skip shots, forehand approaches that you just want to hit and stop. It's going to be that overstable mid, which is a utility disc you need in your bag, even if it's not a workhorse. Just does what it needs to do.